Hey, want to see something cool? Sweet combo, right? I mean, it'll give my opponent a lot of trouble. I mean, you could just say it was a cool combo, or if you're a cool guy like me, you can call it a semi-magnet icicle juggle combo. Now I know what you're thinking. What? Minigames are widely considered a dead sport in the world of Animal Jam, since, trading is a thing. I mean, if you played any of these minigames, it's obvious that it's towards a young audience. But if there's one game that is for real gamers, for real adults, it's Gembreaker. Here's a watered-down tutorial on how to play this thing. You start the game with 3 rows of randomly generated gems, 1 row of 6, and 2 rows of 7. You have this weird shooter thingy that shoots either a red, blue, white, or cyan gem. If you complete a chain of 3 of the same color, congratulations, the gems are now gone. You're going to want to remove as many gems as possible to prevent a gem from passing this fancy little line, otherwise you lose the match. A new row of gems generates every 8 throws, so you have to think wisely. The first to win twice by having their opponent's gem cross the line wins. Seems simple enough, right? Maybe for the average guy. But you're not here to be average, are you? A chain of 3 gems is essentially useless if you want to win against other players, because by itself, it won't add any consequence to your opponent's screen. Essentially, Gembreaker Multiplayer is a game of setting up effective combos to summon gems onto each other's screens. The stronger the combo, the more gems summoned on your opponent's screen. Combos are done by connecting 5 or more gems so they can be removed from the screen. Mind you, these gems are also affected by gravity, so you can quite literally have the gems fall off the screen if any gem is not connected to another. It's also important to consider how you want to chain your combos. Combos give a 2 times score multiplier, but if you complete 2 combos in a row, then the score attached to the combo is instead multiplied by 4. Do another combo, and you cap at an 8 times multiplier. 8 times multipliers do the most damage to your opponent's screen. But that's easier said than done. This game is nowhere near perfect. The developers had to cut some corners and occasionally assume where the gem is supposed to be after you shoot it. Gems sometimes latch onto what the game interprets to be the most convenient spot, if, say, you shoot the gem at an inaccessible place, such as the middle of an existing gem. As a result, gems can sometimes clip through impossibly tight gaps if the game also identifies an exception where you can complete a combo by squeezing through said gap. This term is appropriately dubbed magnet bowling. This mechanic is what helps pros complete very, very tight, almost impossible combos to give you the big, fat, you lost screen. Here's another important mechanic. Remember when I said 3 gem combos are useless? I lied. They're only useless if they're by themselves. Want to make it useful? All you have to do is shoot a strong enough combo first, then instantly after, complete a 3 gem to put yourself into a 2 times combo chain. This mechanic is called juggling the combo. A lot of gem heads use juggling to intensify their combos and summon more consequences onto your board. It's the difference between winning and losing, so it's very important to do these combos as fast as possible. But how do you get faster? Most players strictly use the mouse to play. This requires 2 types of tension, having to move the mouse to where you want to throw a gem, and actually clicking to throw it. However, when you use the spacebar to throw the gem instead of your mouse, the responsibilities are split into 2, 1 for each hand. You will aim much, much faster, and have the speed to shoot gems to boot. Every good player uses the spacebar to play, including Anime, Joke Boy, Yomiel, How Much Wood Would a Woodchuck Chuck, Princess Royal Wolf, Fungu, Axolotls, Fugler, and, me. So if you want to have a shot at making it to the big leagues, play with the spacebar. Trust me, it is worth it. But an Animal Jam minigame wouldn't be an Animal Jam minigame without some. Here's a fun one. The game can sometimes spawn Phantom Gems. Phantom Gems are supposed to be exclusive to the single player mode, but due to an oversight of the developers, they just spawn here sometimes. Not to worry though, Phantom Gems can't do anything, they just block your vision a bit. There's no reason why this should happen, it just does. Another one is that the game can just give up on counting. They give you a weird and impossible score for whatever reason. Isn't that cool? I mean, I think it's cool. A more complex and common glitch comes from the opponent's perspective screen. Introducing the Gem Wall. Okay, sorry for the cinematics. This is basically when the opponent's perspective is all glitched out and covers the entire screen with non-existent gems. Here's a theory on why this happens. This game follows what I dub a refresh rate, a piece of code that tells the game when an avatar in the game is being updated. When your animal needs to chat, move, send emojis, trade, play a minigame, or pretty much anything that includes changing your avatar, you need the refresh rate to update the change onto other players' screens. When this refresh rate is activated, it updates every changed avatar at the same time. This rate happens every second or so. For visual learners, I told these jammers to use a burger emoji on a count of 3. We can see the first refresh rate, then the second. You can see that with both refreshes, the emojis are popping up at the exact same time despite that being very unlikely, let alone twice in a row in different circumstances. You can connect this to Gembreaker, which follows a more consistent refresh rate to ensure the opponent's screen is constantly updated. Since refreshes happen far more often in Gembreaker than anywhere else, it's more likely for the game to be inaccurate with its refresh. And when it's inaccurate once, then it will keep refreshing inaccurate information, creating numerous layers of non-existent gems, thinking this is the most accurate piece of information, when it isn't. You want an actually useful glitch? Introducing the Ghost Juggle. If you complete a combo strong enough, you can sometimes get a multiplier by simply throwing the gem somewhere. This glitch is exceedingly rare, but it may save you from losing in the future. I definitely missed a few glitches since it's Animal Jam we're talking about, but I'll stop here for the sake of time. Gembreaker is weirdly complex for a funny animal minigame. It's competitive, it's strange, and it's a lot of fun. It's yet another underappreciated sub-community in the game, and I'd love to see it more active. The game is complex enough to deserve its own dedicated community. In other words, play Gembreaker.